It's not dust. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Alright, so that was about the same spot he was cutting hay at the other day when I made the video. We're raking it today. But today's Thursday, July 31st. It's about, I suppose it's probably 5:30 in the evening, somewhere in that area. And we're obviously up here on the ridge raking what we cut the other day. As you can see, it's a little bit greened up. We got an inch of rain yesterday. It was just about dry on Tuesday. Oh yeah, that's that smells. That dust you see, that's actually dust from the rain. Like, it's when I grabbed that hay back there, it just was dust, but it's not dry. I mean, the top of it's dry, it's got a crust on it, and that crust is what's making the dust. I rhymed. But anyway, yeah, so we cut the hay on Sunday afternoon, and hindsight's always 20/20. Should have probably cut the hay on a week ago today, but they were talking about 80% chance of rain on Saturday. So we're like, well, I don't want to cut it so it's almost dry or dry, and then all of a sudden it gets rained on. So we're like, well, it seems like the last couple of rainfalls we've gotten, it's been a little bit less of a chance, like they miss us. So we're like, well, maybe we'll take a chance. So they had rain in the forecast for Wednesday, so yesterday. Slight chances on Monday and Tuesday. We're like, well, worst case, maybe we'll get it bailed up, or best case, we'll get it bailed up before Wednesday. Well, we got just a little bit of sprinkle of rain on Monday morning, and we got a little bit of a sprinkle of rain on Tuesday morning, and that was just enough to put us out of doing anything on Tuesday night. It was almost dry, and it just wasn't dry enough. So then it rained all day yesterday. We got an inch of rain, and surprisingly today, it's not bad. And we roll it over, there's dampness underneath. But we're raking it single right now, let it sit. It's supposed to be nice weather the next 4 days. Now, the reason why we didn't wait till today to cut it is because I'm not going to be around on Saturday and Sunday. So we thought maybe we could make it before I wasn't going to be around. But it looks like my brother's going to end up probably making most of it himself on Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully, this right here, we got this, there's a little bit right here, and then we're going to rake this up here. It's basically, there's like half the ridge right here this way. It's like 10 acres. It might be even a little more than 10 acres. Maybe it's about probably 10 acres. We're going to rake that tonight, single, and then hopefully tomorrow night after work, we'll come rake it together and then bale it, and then while we're doing that, he'll rake this other half of the ridge single, and then there's a field down there that we'll rake up single, and he'll probably bale that on Saturday or Sunday, one of the two, probably Saturday. Then it'll just be, and I'll probably be home on Sunday afternoon, mid-afternoon-ish, early afternoon, so it probably could help him haul the bales anyway. So yeah, and the reason why, another thing, everything's kind of greened up underneath it, as I'll show you, is the hay was all lodged. It was pretty tall. It was already all bloomed out, and it was lodged. Now, lodging means it was laid down. You can see here how the old stems are laid laid down. And so it didn't cut off all of it. So that stuff's, when you rake that, it pulls the green off from it. Like there's still leaves on some of this stuff. And when you rake it up, it pulls the green up with it. So that makes it hard too to make dry hay, because now you're pulling the green stuff in with it. So it's it makes it tough. We definitely got to do something. I don't know what it is. A tedder. Everyone's got a tedder. They're nice. We've used our neighbors. We appreciate us letting us use it. We've used it a couple of times. We used it this year. We did it on our oats. It works great. Only thing I don't like about it is, and it's not even the tedder's fault. I can't even say it's the tedder's fault. Just another trip over the field. Now, I understand right now we're making a single trip over the field, and now we're going to make another trip over the field. I totally get that. So I know that conversation will probably come up. I get it. But with our limited time that we have with our jobs, a tedder, I don't know. I don't know. It may work. I think the perfect world would be to wrap the hay. Just have someone come and wrap the hay for us. If it's a little damp, we just go ahead and bale it anyway, and we wrap it. There's guys out there that do that. The worst problem that I guess maybe I haven't asked anyone, because I don't like to bother people, but it seems like the custom guys, you know, they're always busy doing bigger jobs. And we call them up and be like, hey man, we got like 20 bales we need wrapped. They're kind of be like, well, I gotta come out to your place, and you know, I hate doing that. I hate doing that. I don't like putting people on a spot like that. I don't like being felt like that either, but I feel that way. So I don't know. I don't know what the real thing is, or what the real solution is. It just seems like it's getting harder and harder to make hay. I did think about this yesterday, though, or the last couple of days when it was raining. I mean, I remember as a kid, we always baled dry hay. Now, has the weather pattern changed a little bit in the last 25, 30 years? I don't know, probably a little bit. But I thought of this the other day. It's like, well, everyone's got the big V rake. They're raking everything double, triple. They got mergers. And when I was a kid, you had a small square baler. You didn't dare, especially first crop, you didn't dare rake that double. That was single windrows only. But like back when we got the old bar rake, you know, you come up here, though it's a little damp maybe in spots. You come up with the bar rake, you pick it up, and like our rake, there's no really adjustment. The wheels just go right down the ground. It drags everything off the ground right into the windrow. All the dirt, leaves, dead grass, green grass, right into the windrow. But those bar rakes, you put them off the ground, so they're just missing the ground about that far. It doesn't pick any of that crap up. Drag it into your windrow. So maybe it's not so much a weather pattern problem as much as it's an equipment problem. And maybe if a guy had a bar rake, he could come up here and rake it single like this, too. And, you know, we wouldn't have to necessarily rake it double. I mean, the windrows aren't terribly small here. I don't like to go over, you know, too many times with the baler and the tractor, but, you know, I don't know. Of course, you could buy a tedder brand new for almost the same price as a used, like, New Holland 256 or 258 bar rake. I mean, those things I just saw one on Marketplace the other day. I don't even think it was New Holland. It might have been like a New Idea or something. I mean, New Holland kind of is like that's like the premier bar rake as far as I'm concerned. Everyone kind of had those, and that's like, it was like $3,000, $4,000 for a 45-year-old bar rake. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I should have never got rid of ours because we had one grown up, obviously. Then we sold it after we, you know, sold the cows and just did all the round baling. So I don't know what the solution is. I don't know. It's definitely definitely a problem we need to address somehow. We've even adjusted the disc spine so it doesn't cut it quite as long to keep it up off the ground a little bit, to keep getting some air underneath of it. But it's hard to do that when your stuff's all lodged. And it's so hard to cut. Everyone is probably going to be like, why don't you cut it the same direction, or the opposite direction it's laying down so you pick it up. Well, that's all fine and dandy. But on contour strips, it's kind of hard to do that because you go one way and back. There's no like, because the stuff is, you know, that stuff over here was laying down, well, let's see, which way is it laying down? Well, this is kind of laying this way here. See, it's kind of laying down. Well, what am I supposed to do? Just cut, you know, 70-foot swats up one way, all the way that way, but then you get over there and that's raked, that's the other way, that's laying the other way. This stuff is laid that way, and then you get over here and this stuff is laid a different way. I mean, I'd spend 3 days up here trying to cut 20 acres of hay because I'm trying to cut it the way that it's laying, and you'd just be up here, you'd be up here. Like this stuff here is laid this way, you know, and it's just, this stuff is laying that way, so you just cut it. And, you know, it's just, you do what you can do. And the only reason that it's laying down, really, is because we didn't cut it earlier. Because the weather was rainy and crappy. You didn't dare have like 2 days or 3 days in a row of dry weather. Really the last, well, even then, for the 4th of July, we cut the oats, and that was a fight. Like there was only like a 3-day window, maybe a 4-day window there we had of baling the oats, and that I borrowed my buddy's tedder, thank the Lord, and I come in and I tedded it, and I raked it, and I tedded the windrows, and then I raked it again in the course of 2 days because it was the ground was so doggone saturated that I tedded the windrows out because they were all green underneath after sitting for, I don't know, 4 days. And then so I tedded it, let it sit for a couple hours, raked it up, then I let it sit overnight, let it sit the rest of the day, the next day, to let the ground dry out. I come back and I tedded those windrows back out just so you could get some more of the green stuff spread back out again, let it sit for a couple hours, and raked it back up and baled it. Is it going to be good stuff? Not really. It's probably going to be mostly bedding. There's some alfalfa in it, so they'll probably eat it, but it isn't going to be real high quality feed. But of any old farmer, sorry, I guess it beats a snowball. So, well, anyway, I guess enough about the hay. You guys let me know what you guys think I should do. Tedder, fluffer, maybe just quit making hay. I don't know. It's kind of a fight been recently. I don't know. But let's take a look at the corn. It's right here. It's There definitely hasn't been a lack of moisture, but here we're in here. You know, we got some good corn coming here, I think. This is one of those years I kind of wish I still had a chopper yet. You know, because it would have been nice to. Sorry, there. We can see better now. We just had a chopper. This stuff's like 12 foot tall in here. So, and it's not even as tall as the stuff in the bottom. But we're in the peak corn sweat season right now. It was hotter than Hades the last, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I suppose. I don't know. It's been hot, humid, and today is the first cool day. It's only in the maybe high 70s, low 80s today. Nice breeze. It's beautiful weather outside today. So, yeah, I think Tuesday it was 94 with 90% humidity. So it was like a heat index of 100 plus or whatever. So, and then, yeah, so the corn's looking good. And the third crop is coming in nicely, which is also kind of sucks because now I'm back on the hay kick again. Sorry, guys. But like now we're dragging all that green, you know, back up into these windrows or whatever. And we're really not that far from raking. I mean, it wasn't like this has been sitting for a week. It's been Sunday afternoon. I mean, it's been 4 days. So, and then the third crop's already coming back up. So, kind of makes it difficult too when you drag that stuff back up in there. And the soybeans, they look good. They're canopied now. We're, you know, it's waist tall. So they're starting to, get off there, Mr. Grasshopper. Got some flowers on them now. So they look pretty good too. I mean, it's been good weather for growing of crops. Not good weather for drying of hay. So it's been good weather for growing hay, but not been good weather for drying hay. So yeah, I guess I did have a video about what we did with our first crop, which we didn't make. I had another farmer come in. They got a bunch of beef cattle. They got a big dairy farm too, and they come in and they cut all of this up here an hour. They got a big triple crone 30-foot, you know, triple moors on a freaking big old Puma Case IH, and they cut this all 20 acres, all of this, that field down there. There's also a field over across in that shelf over there that I didn't even cut this time because I don't even like going over there. Excuse me. They showed up at my house 7 o'clock. Actually, it might have been 7:30. Drove past my house. I jumped on the four-wheeler and I come up here and I was back to my house by a little after 8:30. It took them an hour, less than an hour to cut it. It was an hour from when they went past my house to when I went back home, and they were done. Just 15 plus miles an hour across here with 30 foot at a time. You couldn't even, I mean, you drive this 1256 and I was cutting the other day. I was cutting in third gear and I was doing like 15. Brother was following me here with the four-wheeler. And somewhere between 12 and 15 is where I was going. And you got to be hanging on. And I understand also that's a 50-year tractor difference. I mean, there's suspension in the new Case IH tractors. I mean, it's not just Case IH, but like it was a big difference. Tires are way bigger. So yeah, they cut it, merged it, baled it. They got like 63 bales off from it, and worked out nice because we didn't have to do anything with it. And you know, we didn't really need the hay that bad. We got hay from next year. We're gonna keep this hay because we do need a little bit of hay left. I was thinking we're probably gonna need somewhere between probably 20 or 30 bales left. The shed is almost full. Everything is in the shed from outside. After baling the oats, there's still room in the shed for probably 10-ish bales, 10, 12 bales, I suppose. And then we're gonna put some hay underneath the lean-to in the barnyard. We'll fence that off. And then that should be enough. We're gonna keep back some heifers and maybe a couple of steers this year. And we'll feed them out of that, probably out of this stuff here. And then some corn. And then the rest of the stuff will be for the mamas down all winter. So we'll probably, I guess we'll see. We'll probably sell the third crop and the new seeding. We do have that one field of new seeding down there in the bottom. So anyway, I've rambled far too long. But I haven't had a chance to make a video in length, whether anyone likes to hear me with any kind of action at all. Probably make one of the baling, I'm not sure. So anyway, if anyone's got any solutions, what they think, what they might do, what they think we should do, I know everyone's situation is different. I'm looking at trying to find the quickest way possible. And I understand if you ted the hay, like, it's got to be a perfect situation, I think, the way my understanding of it is. Like, you almost want to cut the hay like in the morning, ted the hay in the afternoon, and bale it the next day, which would work great, I suppose, if we cut the hay like on a Friday night or Saturday morning and baled it on a Sunday. But I don't know. You know, baling hay at night isn't real good because it starts to, like this time of year, we already got shade right here along this field. You know, at whatever time, 6 o'clock at night. So I don't know. Maybe a bar rake. A bar rake would be nice anyway. I think this doesn't work too bad for single windrows, I guess. It's just kind of, I don't know, clumsy-ish for single windrows. It doesn't work terrible though, I guess. I guess you can go about as fast as you can with a regular bar rake. So I don't know. We had a bar rake here. We bought one again. Well, we bought one after we sold the other one. We probably didn't have one for a handful of years, and then we decided, after running a rock through the chopper when we were chopping hay, that these V rakes, at least like this one, don't work real good for chopping because it pulls everything into the windrow, including rocks. So when we run a rock through the chopper, we decided if we're going to continue to chop hay, probably get rid of or get a bar rake. So we ended up buying an old, I think it was an Allis-Chalmers or something, bar rake, and it worked okay. But for when we were chopping. But anyway, that's probably enough rambling. And yeah, I guess let me know what you guys think is the best thing to do. But yeah, anyway, I guess if you haven't liked the channel, make sure you like it, subscribe, comment, please let me hear what we're doing wrong. Maybe just quit farming altogether, I don't know. I'm joking, I probably won't do that. I can think of a lot of things I'd probably quit before farming. But anyway, we'll talk to you guys later.